I know this might sound crazy, but your specific person is actually waiting on you to allow them into your reality and not the other way around. And if you've had some less than positive experiences with your specific person, it's not because your reality or your universe is trying to push you away. It all has to do with our conception of ourselves. Because think about someone outside of us. Have you ever heard the term that, oh, your reality or your universe just might not want that for you? Or specifically, your subconscious pushed your specific person away for a reason. Have you ever thought that or had anyone in your reality tell you that? But here's the trick that makes sense, but not totally. It's not the complete sense. You are still picking and choosing your entire reality. And no, very simply put, your subconscious, your reality, your universe is not pushing you away from your specific person. Because remember, you don't manifest what you want. You manifest what you are. Your subconscious, and so once we realize this, you're going to be able to cross this bridge or whatever gap you're having with your specific person and live the life you want. If you remember, your subconscious doesn't give you what you want, but gives you what you are in the way of your self-conception, then it's going to make sense. So if you were to have any sort of belief or desire or thought that you aren't worthy of love, or the belief that your specific person doesn't want to be with you, then you are going to experience that, but not because your reality wants to push you away, because that's your self-conception. So more basically, you're actively kind of pushing your specific person away because our self-conception is aligning with a reality that wants that. So think of your self-conception. And I think I talked about this in another video, but it's really good to review it here because it's going to change your outlook on whenever someone tells you, oh, but the universe just didn't mean it for you. When you think of self-conception, that's who you are. In Neville Goddard terms, that's your I am. Who you feel you're conscious of in this current moment. That's your self-conception. And that's what your subconscious is working off of. If you are acting or thinking of yourself to be a certain way, that's what your subconscious wants to do. Not what you want, because we already know that you desire and want your specific person. But your self-conception or your state of being is what is actually being manifested. I'll reiterate the same sentence again because it's so important. You don't manifest what you want, you manifest what you are. So we need to get this thinking that your reality brought your specific person into your life for a reason, or there's some reason as to why your specific person is not showing up, because it's not that. It's not that the universe is trying to separate you two. It's specifically because we need to align our self-conception with the outcome, because you will act and force your self-conception on your reality through your thoughts, beliefs, and actions to a moral extent. So to reiterate, this idea is the same. Acting outside of your self-conception is the same thing as you breaking the law if your values are upheld to that. So think of someone, and here I think this is the example I always use. Think of someone who is told or thinks, I'm not good at math, or I'm not good at school. That is their self-conception, and thus to act outside of it, to be good at math or to get good grades or to be good at school, is actually becoming a moral issue. And that's why then your subconscious is actually working perfectly and your manifestation is actually working perfectly. We just have to realize this in order to move out of it. And so it won't matter. I know initially we're going to think, yeah, but in my external reality, it's working against me. In my external reality, it's not showing up in the way I want. But I'm here to say it absolutely is. Your specific person is waiting on you to come into your reality. It's showing up in the exact way, in a positive. We're just convincing ourselves of the opposite because of our self-conception. So for today, I have a success story that shows this as a person in my weekly coaching sessions is receiving massive, awesome, amazing movement, but their self-conception is not aligning with it. And thus, they are totally missing this positive. But again, they're doing absolutely fantastic, and you are too. We just need to see it. So in this case, this person, I have a suspicion that their idea, their belief underneath the surface is, I am unloved. And most of us can kind of relate to that, right? If we are seeing or not experiencing awesome, amazing love in our reality, or thinking back to the past and thinking, no one ever picked or chose wanted me, you could also be under this term. But again, it's not a guarantee. It just might be something that we feel. But if we feel we have the self conception of, I am unloved, we are going to try to reinforce that belief in any way possible through thoughts, beliefs, and actions in our reality, and our subconscious will act in accordance with that. Because again, for the third time, you don't manifest what you want, you manifest what you are. So if your state of being, your self-conception is I am unloved, you are going to see that reiterate even if you are receiving massive results. So in this example, they are receiving awesome results. So their specific person within the last week actually asked them twice to meet up and actually hung out with them around the house. They were like, how can I help do anything that would make you happy? So think about that. On the surface, you would say, that's awesome. That's an amazing success. How many people in the comment section would actually love to manifest this? And I would say almost everyone. But here's where the but comes in. What they would say is, but we're not hanging out this weekend. And it's the word but that absolutely kills all of our successes. But think about it in this way. So there's that but again. Think about it in this way. If their self-conception is I am unloved, it won't matter what is happening in their external reality. They will make certain that the statement of I am unloved is reinforced. And again, they could think, my reality just doesn't want us together. The universe is trying to pull us apart. My subconscious isn't working. No, it's actually working perfectly. Because once we realize, and I would take this to your own experience with your own manifestation, once we realize it doesn't matter what's happening in our external reality, we'll make sure that it matches our self-conception. Then we're going to realize this is idiotic, right? Why am I trying to convince myself of something negative when so much positive is happening? So with the example I used actually for this individual, because bringing about this idea of changing their self-conception, here's what I thought. I stated, well, what if your specific person actually asked you to marry them yesterday? Would you still feel the same way about the weekend? And what they thought was, absolutely yes. So think about that. Even if they received everything they wanted because they want to marry their specific person, imagine them manifesting everything that they wanted, but still, because of their conception of themselves, will refuse that positive to occur. And I would imagine, think about it in this way, your situation is probably not very different. If you have this self-conception of I am unloved, imagine your specific person did propose to you yesterday, but what you are perceiving in your reality stayed the same. So your no contact, and I'm putting air quotes because your specific person, again, is waiting on you to come into your reality. But the same no contact or whatever you feel is in your way was still occurring, you wouldn't care. Right? You would be like, I don't care that they asked me, that we're engaged, that we're this, that we're that. You would say, what I want is still not occurring. But then we have to think, okay, this doesn't make sense. My external reality is showing me exactly what I want, but even at a massive extent, I still refuse it. What's going on? That's what brings our mind to the awareness of what our subconscious or our self-conception is. And thus, because it will be shown to be so bizarre, so crazy, that's when we'll start to question it, because it's the original idea and the original belief, the seed that we planted of I am unloved, that is producing all of this tree and fruit that is tainted with that idea. So we don't need to change the outcome. We don't need to alter our reality. Your reality is already a million times better than you're making it. But if our self-conception, that seed we plant, is I am unloved, it will lace everything it touches with that idea. So the problem is not your reality. Again, you may believe me or don't believe me. Your specific person is waiting on you to come into your life. If we continuously have this self-conception that I am unloved, we must repeat that. Our thoughts, beliefs, and actions will all align with that. That's the only thing we need to change. And that's when we talk about manifestation being so simple, so easy, literally effortless. It's effortless, everyone, to create the outcome you want. Now, it may not feel that way. Again, if we have the self-conception of I'm unloved, we're going to feel that way, right? Our emotional state's going to be rising up and fighting against everything. But even if we logically know the answer that this is bizarre, my specific person asked me out twice this week, but because we're not hanging out on the weekend, I'm mad about this. We can logically know whatever we want. We're not going to act on logic. We're going to act on emotion. So you have to change that self-concept, because I even get into the same state. In the same area, I'll fall into ideas where we get into this thought of emotion that my reality is this way, my reality is that way. And logically, I know, and I literally have to convince myself, Kyle, stop focusing on this emotion, focus on the logic. How does this make sense? What's your self-conception of yourself? What if this? What if that? Contemplate, what if it's better than you could ever imagine? And by focusing on that, you're going to start changing your self-concept or your conception of yourself. That's a better phrase. Use self-conception, not self-concept, because your conception of yourself, to me, sounds better and makes more sense, because self-concept sounds like worthiness, but conception of self is who you are completely. So again, no, your reality is not pushing you apart. There's no problems. There's no dividers between you and your specific person. Contemplate this idea that I know is true. You just have to contemplate it. What if it was just our conception of ourselves? As always, if you had any questions on this idea, leave them in the comment section below. And if you wanted to send me a personal question about your personal manifestation, your personal questions, whatever circumstances, head over to kyleaugustcoaching.com. Hopefully this idea makes you realize that anyone telling you your universe, your reality is pulling you apart from someone, that is not the case. You can look them in the face and go, absolutely not. I do not buy into this belief, because it's just not true. It's not your reality. It's your conception of yourself. You are not being pushed away from your specific person. We're actively just not choosing to be with them. So again, your specific person is waiting on you. Contemplate and just think that. I know it may not fully be believable right now. Just contemplate and think about it, okay? And if you know for a fact that your specific person is literally just around the corner waiting to come into your reality, give a thumbs up on this video. Again, thank you so much for stopping by today, and I'll see you in my next video tomorrow.